Wow. I can't believe I share haplogroups with Ramses the Third, an ancient Kemet of Egypt. Wow. That's powerful. That's on my daddy's side. I got my results in my 23andMe, parents haplogroup, my mother and my father haplogroups, and both of us are Africans. So my common ancestors are Africans. Here we go. As you see, I got my haplogroup in on 23andMe. This is my results. My maternal haplogroup, as you see. It says, you descend from a long line of female ancestors that can be traced back to Eastern Africa over 150,000 years ago. This is East Africa. These are the people of your maternal line, your mother haplogroups, which shed lights on their story. Now, as you see, my name is Corey, aka King Lit Corey. Your maternal haplogroup is L3H1B1A. As our ancestors ventured out of Eastern Africa, they branched off into the diverse group that crossed and recrossed the globe over tens of thousands of years. And some of their migrations can be traced through haplogroups, families of lineages that descended from a common ancestor. Your maternal haplogroup can reveal the path by the woman of your maternal line. Now, it gives you more and more as it reads on. Migration of your maternal line. Because you know the L start from L0 to L7. L0, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, and L7. These are African women's haplogroups, all L's. So now, it says, for me, to tell you about haplogroup L, it says if every person living today could trace his or her mother line back over thousands of generations, all of our lines will meet at a single woman who lived in Eastern Africa between 150,000 years and 200,000 years ago. I already read that. So now moving on, as I continue to go up, as you see, it shows the map. It shows the map, which is Eastern Africa, which deal with Ethiopia, Kenya, and all the countries that surround it, even Uganda, but South Sudan. So as you see, up the Nile River is L3. And you see how the migration with the arrows point all the way to Saudi Arabia, all the way across, all the way to the Atlantic coast, and downward all around. L3 is the migration African woman haplogroup. Now, mine is L3H. L3H is mine. It goes deeper because it adds more on with the code, which is L3H1B1A. Now, it says this 59,000 years ago. Your mother line stems from L3H, one of the oldest daughter haplogroup of L3. Members of L3H all descended from a woman who lived at nearly 60,000 years ago, perhaps in the vicinity of present-day Ethiopia. You see that? Her descendants migrate westward along the southern fringe of the Sahara Desert to the Atlantic coast of Africa. The haplogroup is also found in Yemen. Yemen is like Saudi Arabia over there, because it's right across from Ethiopia, just across from the Red Sea from Ethiopia. Because you know this haplogroup came from Ethiopia area, Sudan. You gotta understand that South Sudan, Ethiopia, in the Highlands of Ethiopia. Elsewhere, L3H reaches its highest level among this tribe called in Tanzania called the Tonga tribe, who migrated recently from Sudan. So as you see, I'm gonna continue to read. It says L3H1B1A 29 years ago, but right here it says your maternal haplogroup L3H1B1A traced back to a woman who lived there approximately 29,000 years ago. That's nearly 1,160 generations ago. What happened then and now? As researchers and citizen scientists discover more about your haplogroup, new details may be added to the story of your maternal line. So they got to do more research on it. Okay, L3H1 1B, 1A is extremely rare among 23andMe customers. It's extremely rare, y'all. It's fewer than 1 in 1,100,000 customers has this group. 1 out of a million people, over a million people. And I'm one of them. So now, as you see, as I continue to move up, we're going to go to my Father Haplogroup. We're going to get to how I'm connected to Ramses III. But I must explain that the L3 Haplogroup is amazing, right? Because it deals mostly with Eastern Africa. It deals with mostly the Horn of Africa, Eastern Africa, and also the Nilotic people, the Highlands of Ethiopia, West Ethiopian, and South Sudan Nilotic people, the Kushites. They also has Kushite blood, so can't separate that. And Bantu. Now, my Father Haplogroup just deals with, did this more with how I'm being connected to Ramses III. He was a warrior pharaoh of ancient Kemet who won 3 wars against the sea people or against the invaders. But as you see, this is the story. Corey, your Father Haplogroup is ECTS 9883. ECTS 9883. Now, as you see, you descend from a long line of male ancestors that can be traced back to East Africa over 275,000 years ago. These are the people of your fatherland, and your paternal Haplogroup sheds light on this story, on their story. Now, just the migration of the fatherland. It gives you A Haplogroup. From A, it goes on to the DEM145 Haplogroup, which is 76,000 years ago. Then it goes to the EM96 Haplogroup, which is 73,000 years ago. As you see the location right here. It's all like in Southeast African and also in Ethiopia area, the Nile Valley area. But as you see, okay, the origins, which is the migrations of Haplogroup EM180. So, your fatherland stems from EM180 branch of E, which dominates the south of the Sahara. The south of the Sahara. I gotta tell y'all already. The Haplogroup originated about 17,000 years ago in the pockets of Western Africa that were. So Ramses came from the Bantu. He came from the Bantu, which is like Western Africa and Central Africa. That's his bloodline. So now we know that these pharaohs were really African. Like, so now y'all know that. What they did, they tested the DNA of these pharaohs, dig them up, test the DNA, and now they got technology and advanced stuff. They could tell what is what. So what this says, the Haplogroup originated about 17,000 years in the pocket of Western Africa that were habitable at the time when much of the continent was extremely dry due to the Ice Age climate conditions. Over 10,000 years later, men bearing Haplogroup EM180 migrated through Sub-Saharan Africa. When they say Sub-Saharan, that's Bantu, which is, we already know, South, West, Central Africa, all that there. And they spurred by the development of agriculture and iron working in the region. So EM180 is most common today among speakers of the Bantu language, and those related to them, it reaches levels of up to 90%. 90% of people have this DNA is my Mendanka and Yoruba. I got that in me. That's all in my that's all over my every DNA test I take, which is Nigerian and Sierra Leone and Senegal and Gambia, which is Mendanka and Mende stuff. in Western Africa, where the migration begins. Further from their origins, EM 180 reaches also frequencies of 50% or higher in the Bantu tribes, which is this is around like this is somewhere like Angola, around Angola and all that there. In South Africa, like Zimbabwe, these tribes, Bantu in South Africa and stuff like that there, 50% or higher. The lineage is also the most common among African American male individuals. About 60% of African American male fell in this haplogroup, primarily due to the Atlantic slave trade, which drew individuals from Western Africa and Mazimba. I can't pronounce it right, but where EM 180 accounts for the majority of men. Now, this is my haplogroup right here. As it goes up, it says ECTS 9883. Your father haplogroup, which means paternal haplogroup, ECTS 9883, traced back to a man lived it less than 17,000 years ago. That's less. Now, my mother was like 29,000 years ago to trace. This is 17,000, less than 17,000. That's nearly 680 generations ago. What happened between then and now? As researchers and citizens, scientists discover more about the haplogroup, new details may be added to the story of your paternal line. Now, as you see, your paternal haplogroup, ECTS 9883, traces back to a man who lived less than 17,000 years ago, as y'all see. But it says right here that it's uncommon. It's uncommon among the 23andMe customers, as you see. And then it says right here, you share an ancient paternal lineage with Ramses III. Let me say that again. Wow. I'm talking about I share an ancient paternal line with Ramses III. It says, and this is the haplogroup. So ancient Kemet is in my blood. When I say Kemet Kushite blood, my mama's side more Kushite and Nilotic. And my daddy's side, father's side, is more ancient Kemet. And Bantu. And Bantu, which is Ramses, had Bantu blood in him. So now you know not only the Kushite was part of running for the throne, but the Bantu. You know, Bantu in Central and Southern Africa and also West Africa dealt with this. Like, especially the Moor-like blood, which is Mali, the Mende, Medanka, all is the same, all part of the same royal bloodline. The Ghana Empire, the Mali Empire is part of Ramses bloodline. That described. And the Yoruba in Nigeria. So all in the West Africa, a lot of them is part of Ramses the third bloodline. And this is where he come from, because this is the same Y DNA haplogroup that I have. It traces back to the Mendanka, the Mende, the Yoruba, especially the Mandeka and the Mende and the Fula people. So who has the Mali blood? The Moors in Morocco, all over that. People in Liberia, North Africa. So as you see, that's who had this blood. Plus it's Bantu also. So now, Ramses the Third, he defended Egypt in three consecutive wars, 3 different wars, during his approximately 30-year reign, but provoked dissentment within his administration. Dog, they was having hate towards him, as far as this story goes. But I would let y'all read the story and continue to read the story on your own. You Google it. It's there. But as you know, Ramses the Third, he dealt with the the EV38 haplogroup, and that's what my haplogroup is under. Right here, which is the E38. As you see, skin very brown. Now, they show you how they do the haplogroups and all that. I mean, how they do the haplogroups and how they do the DNA and all this here on these tests. They give you the timeline. Since I've been in America, the timeline and all that there till today. They show you, they give you like, I got a little bit of Neanderthal, 1%, less than 2%, which is 45 strands, because over 7,000 strands in my DNA. It's only 45 strands show up, so that's like 1%, that's it. So of course African dominate over their blood. Haplogroups is important because you know how African you really are. So if you can trace back to 2 African ancestors, then you know what's up. As you see, they give you a whole report right here. Whole report. I just mainly want to explain the haplogroups, my haplogroups to you beautiful people. Tell you about the migration and all that there, you know, this all the DNA tests I took in one, but I just want to explain the haplogroup, and I'm very amazed that Ramses the third share the same haplogroup that I share. It's very powerful.